All right, boys and girls. I know it's one of your favorite times, and my favorite time. It's our writing time. So sometimes we write to tell what we learned, and we call that informational writing, informative writing. Sometimes we write to tell how we feel about something, our feelings, our thoughts, and that's an opinion writing. And sometimes we write to tell a story. We make up a story in our imaginations, or we tell a story about something that really happened to us, and we call that narrative writing. Well, this week we're going to be writing informationally. That means informatively, we're going to be writing to tell what we learned. So, all week we're going to be learning about different types of weather. And today we learned about rain. So today you're going to write to tell Miss Nakian what you learned about rain. You listened to a very great nonfiction book today on rain. Remember that nonfiction text teach us real information, real facts. It usually has real photographs in it. And the author that wrote that book wanted us to learn about rain. So you're going to write to tell Miss Nakian what you learned about rain today. So I'm going to start off my writing. Remember, when we write to tell what we learned, we always want to start our first sentence about what the main idea was. What was the whole pizza about? Our whole book today was about rain. So our first sentence, your first sentence, could be to tell me what you learned about today. So we're going to start our journal today with our first sentence. We're going to write, I learned. Miss Nakian is going to do my best to write with this pen on these lines the best that I can. I learned about and I'm going to do a return sweep, rain. I'm going to start a new line, and I'm going to make sure I have my period. We're going to go back and check for our 5-star writing. So I learned about rain. That way I told you exactly what I learned about today, what my whole main idea was, what my whole pizza was about. Now Miss Nakian is going to ask you to write to tell me some little details you learned. What are some little toppings on your pizza? The whole pizza was about rain. Now we're going to add our toppings and our details. I remember reading this story, and I remember that it told me that rain falls from clouds. So that might be my next sentence. Now I'm going to write my details. I'm going to start my new sentence with my uppercase letter. I'm going to write rain falls from clouds. Yes, that was something else that Miss Nakian learned. And as I'm thinking back, I'm thinking about the book, and I'm thinking about all the cool things that I learned. I remember one thing that I learned that was really important. It said all living things need water. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'd like to make that my next sentence. I want to talk about how living things need water, because I think that was a very important thing that I learned. So Miss Nakian is going to make that my next sentence. All living things need. Now Miss Nakian is going to go to my next. All living things need water. Yeah, sometimes we have to go to our next page in our journal because we just have so much to say and write about. I'm going to put my period. And then I also remember that I know all living things need water. And I know that rain's really important because rain gives those animals and plants, those living things, fresh water. So I think that's going to be my next detail that I write about. Rain gives fresh water to plants and animals. gives fresh water, and there's my to, ooh, that's a good sight word, to plants. I hear that pull, that blend. Ants, plants. Ooh, there's another tricky word, and we're going to write animals. And I'm going to put my period. There we go. Rain gives fresh water to plants and animals. Now, I want you to think about what you learned. This was just a model for you to understand the type of writing that we're going to be working on all week. So today, your challenge is to write about what you learned about rain. I would like you to give me your own details, the things that stood out to you in the book that you learned about rain. I'm going to challenge you to at least give me 2 details. I would love to see 3 details that you learned about rain today. Remember to go back and check for your 5-star writing. Remember that Ms. Nakan wants to see those uppercase letters at the beginning of your sentences. I want to see that you have punctuation marks. Yes, I want to see that you added your periods in at the end of your telling and statement sentences. I want to see that you left that finger space, that you have spaces between your words. I want to see that you use very neat handwriting. And I want you to go back and check. Make sure your sentences make sense. I learned about rain. Rain falls from clouds. Oh, and look at that. Miss Nakan forgot my S. See why we always have to go back and check our writing? Because even Miss Nakan makes mistakes. Rain falls from clouds. All living things need water, and rain gives fresh water to plants and animals. Make sure you can see that period at the end of that. It's kind of, there we go. Then you can see it a little better now. Now, don't forget that also writing is about our illustrations. Our illustrations need to be very detailed, and they need to match exactly what we wrote about. So my picture can't be on a cake. My picture can't show me riding a bike. My picture needs to show rain and why that rain was important and what I talked about. I talked about how rain falls from clouds. So Miss Nakan could draw some clouds. I could draw some raindrops. I talked about how all living things need rain. So maybe I could draw some plants. Maybe we could draw some grass and draw some plants, getting that, soaking up that water. I could draw a living thing. You could draw you. You're a living thing and you need water, or you can draw your pet. Why don't we draw a cat down here? Enjoying that fresh water that comes from the clouds. So I really want you, I'm going to start that over. Miss Nakan didn't like that. I really want you to think about what you learned about today. And I want you to do some awesome writing. And I want you to really do a detailed picture that shows Miss Nakan all the things that you learned. And Miss Nakan's it's really hard to draw with this pen. I apologize. But think about all the details that should be in your picture when you draw that match your facts that you learned, all the details that you learned. I can't wait to see all of your beautiful writings and your beautiful illustrations. And I will see you soon. And I can't wait to see your writings. Have a great day.